Hey, what's up? How you doing today? I'm going to give you some. I just put a new wheel bearing in this 2006 Volkswagen Jetta that I've had for a while, and I'm not going to show you a step-by-step video on how to do it. I'm not that good of a YouTuber, and there's plenty of other videos you can find that. Like 1A Auto is really good, always has pretty good videos. I'd recommend that if you're tackling this. But the best tip I can give you is do not buy a Chinese brand X Amazon special, more like special ed bearing for about $40, because it won't last any time like this one did. It only lasts about 4 years and about 30,000 miles, and the dumb thing's making all kinds of racket. It started out at right around 55 miles an hour or so, 50, 55-ish, somewhere around in there, and then it just got worse to where it was 40 to 60 miles an hour. I was still hearing it, and probably beyond that a little bit too. So anyway, yeah, don't waste your time or money. I thought I was saving money, and all I did was waste money and waste time, because I had to do it all over again. So what I wound up getting was this Focus Schaeffler brand, and let's see if I can see what it says on here. It was about $100. With my friend works at Eurofix. It's also made by, if you can see that, FAG. The initials for that, whatever that manufacturer is, it's fabrication something or other. But you know that gets joked about a lot. So I put a FAG in my car. Whoops. So anyway, it's made in Slovakia. So that's better than China or wherever my brand X one was made. I don't remember, that was 4 years ago, but yeah, try to go with the, if you want to keep driving the car, make it last very long, get something better than the dirt cheap stuff. So hindsight's 20/20. I learned a hard, expensive lesson there. But a few things that are different about this I'll show you. This time around, instead of taking off 3 nuts that hold the lower ball joint, I just took the 1 nut off the stud and dropped it down using a 18mm wrench, and that worked pretty well. But I ran into some problems with the stud, the whole stud turning instead of the nut when I was trying to get it off, and I think when I was getting it back on too. So I wound up using my little bottle jack. Sorry, lighting sucks. I use that little bottle jack. If you don't have a cheap little bottle jack, pick one up. They come in really handy. Been meaning to make a video showing how I fixed the old go-kart where it had a belt slipping with that. But you're still going to need the, if you're doing this for the first time, you're still going to need their weird specialty, whatever that is, 12 point, whatever they call that thing. It's a 1/2-inch drive to get the old bolts out of the 4 bolts that hold the wheel bearing in. Those are kind of hard to get to. You got to turn the wheel all the way to the right and then all the way to the left to get them all. And the last one I got out yesterday was the worst. I was able to squeeze my impact wrench in there for those 3, but not the last one. I had to get creative and use this breaker bar and adjust the handle around. So keep that in mind. The original hex bolt that goes in the axle right there, the new one came with a 12 point, I guess. What size was that? Shoot, sorry. What was that? 24mm 12 point. The old one was 27mm 6 point. So we'll need that. One thing I did a little bit different on the big caliper bolts. I mean the big caliper bracket right there that has the 2 big bolts that hold it. I used a 13/16 standard on that because it fit nice and snug, and I had this short stubby one that got in a tight place better. The new 4 screws for the wheel bearing came with T60 Torx bolts, and I borrowed this one from a friend. It's a 3/8 drive. I think the reason they use that is because I think these may be a little more common, a little cheaper tool, and I think it goes into the bolt deeper than these original ones. They do not go in there very deep at all. So if you don't get it in there all the way, you will risk stripping the thing out, and that's a nightmare. So that may be why they went with that. I use this 1/2 inch. My lighting really sucks here, man. I use this 1/2 inch drive to 3/8 drive extension, impact extension that I actually got. Those were Harbor Freight. Those came with 3 I bought years ago for doing an inner tie rod, and it came in handy and worked well. What else? Just the torque specs. The 4 bolts that hold the wheel bearing on are 50 foot-pounds, and then you're supposed to turn it another 1/4 turn, but I only did it about probably an 1/8 or whatever. So that works for me. One of the videos I watched said just torque the big bolt in the middle for the axle there to 150 foot-pounds. I mean, so some of the other videos are saying you turn it another torque to yield or whatever, but to me 150 foot-pounds is a lot. That's probably alright. The big caliper bolts for the bracket are 90 foot-pounds, and then the small ones for the caliper are just 30. That's about it. And then I do 90 foot-pounds on the lug bolts, so I got this stud that makes it easier for getting the wheel off and on. And I think that's about it. Speaking of cheap Chinese stuff, this old Harbor Freight special came in handy for tightening. I used my bigger, better Cobalt impact for breaking all this stuff loose. But that's about it. So don't go too cheap. Sometimes you get what you pay for, so hope that helps somebody out. Let's see what my jukebox is playing today. I thought it was playing Seven Dust, Unforgiven. Good stuff. Take care, have a good one. See ya.